Oh, hey! I didn't know that you guys were here. So, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be addressing another problem in the Mustang. If you guys saw the other videos, we installed a 9-inch rear end on the car. It's a whole build from Quick Performance. And the problem that I found is I couldn't find any brake line kit to go over that and fit my application. Probably exists, but I don't know. I just contacted the suppliers like Plastic Tubes, and they said I need to send measurements and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, back and forth on email, and I just get tired of that. So I decided to build it myself. So here I am, practicing a little bit, some bending and flaring. Well, let me show you what I got here on the table. Alright, here we got the flaring tool from Eastwood. It works for different type of tubing. We're going to use 3/16. This is the one that we have in the car for brake lines. It's a little pricey, but I don't have too much experience doing this, so I decided to go with it because there's a less risk of failure doing a flare with this than the other type of tool, the one that is cheap. So whatever, the tools are the things that make your life easier, so why not? So here we got the Deburring tool. That's for cleaning the tubing. This piece right here is to clean the inner part of the tubing, and this part right here is to clean the outside of the tubing to make the surface prepare for the flaring. This tool right here is to make the piping straight. Basically, it has some rollers inside. You feed the tubing from one side and go back and forth until you get your tubing straight like this. Kind of. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close to it. So it can be used with 3/16 and 1/4. Just switching this, the rollers will close and open to fit that thickness. So here's some other practicing. This is a softer material. It works really good. The flarings are perfect, I will say. This little guy right here is stainless steel, which is a little harder to work with. So I did one flaring here. The other one, it wasn't too good because I think I need to press a little bit more the first step to make it look better, because this one is bad. So this is the bender that we're going to use to do all the turns. Stainless steel brake line. That's the other one that I was practicing. The cutter for the tubing. That's the box of that tool with the different fittings for the other tubing. I mean 3/8, 5/16, 1/4, and 3/16. That's the one that we have already in the tool because we were working on it. We got the brake line, the one that goes over the rear end to connect with the one that is coming from the car, and we need to weld this piece right here to keep the connection together. This is a Flexline kit from Wilwood. We have this brand all the way around the car for braking, and I decided to go with it to keep everything with the same brand. Has a bracket and aluminum brackets to go over a 3-inch housing. I was reading the reviews, and it says that the brackets are kind of soft, so you can damage them easily installing it. I don't know, we will see. And I bought this just in case that this kit fails. It's not as cool as this one, but we gotta be prepared to finish the job. I don't like to leave something unfinished. I hate that. So this is what we got. So basically the plan is to install all the flex lines, everything in place, just to make sure where everything is going to be. And from that point, with this piece of wire, I'm going to try to shape it to make a template and then transfer that to the tubing. But first we need to we need to know where everything is going to be to do the perfect cuts. So let's install all this. But before, I'm going to show you the inside of the kit to see what's going on inside, what we got. Some instructions, more stickers. We got a ton of those. Okay. So we got flex lines for each caliper. Those are the brackets that I was telling you. So those go over a 3-inch housing. Those are the connectors for the calipers, the fittings. This piece right here is the one that goes on the bracket. Let me see, like that, and secure in place with this clip. So basically we will connect the line from here to the caliper using this, like that. But yeah, the brackets are kind of soft. Obviously it's aluminum, no weight on it, and use these screws or bolts like this to keep it in place. So let's see how it goes with it, and if it doesn't work we can switch to the other one. But it's more simple. It's like clamps and a bracket to keep this fitting in place, and that's it. So we're gonna save it just in case. So the tubing, the flex line that it goes over the rear end. This hole right here is where the rear end vent outlet is going to be, and we will keep it in place with that fitting. One line to the driver's side, and the one that goes up is the one that goes to the passenger side. The other end of the flex line has a shape on it to fit the bracket. That way it won't move when you start tightening this down. And obviously with a clip right here, we're gonna keep it in place. So basically that's the kit that we got. We're gonna install all this first, and then from there we can trace a template of the line. Let's do it. Okay, let's do the fittings. First, we're gonna remove the sticker that it's covering the hole. Okay, so we got the fitting right here. It has two different sizes, the flat and the kind of a cone or a flaring shape. So the flat side is the one that goes inside the caliper, and the other one is for the flex line. So I'm going to add some thread sealant here. I made a mess, so just be careful, don't go over this with the sealant, because we don't want that inside of the caliper. So with the sealant applied, we just thread this in. All right, I think in that position is good. Okay, now we're gonna add the flex line. All right, it's tight. Now we're gonna position the line like this, around that. Okay, it is tight. Remember, don't go crazy with it. Yeah, we're good. Let me get the clip. I forgot the clip. Okay, it is moving, so we need to tighten it with another wrench, but we can do that when we finish. We get it in place where we want it. Yep. So now we're gonna do the other side. Okay. We will tighten everything at the end, but it's in place. I think we're good. So I already removed the fitting that it goes here, which is the vent. We're gonna have to do some modifications because I found a problem with the fitting and the plate that it comes with the flex hose that I bought. So let me show you. Guys, this is the fitting that it goes on the rear end for venting purposes, and this piece goes over the rear end housing or axle housing, and this piece goes inside to keep this in place. But as you guys can see, the hole is smaller than the fitting, so we need to drill this a little bit. For that, we're going to use this tool to open up a little bit this and see what happened. All right, we got it here at the vice grip. We're going to use this piece to drill this a little bit. I have nothing to support underneath, so let's see how it goes. A little bit more. I'm gonna move it over, turn it, because if I go to the next step, it's gonna be too much. So what I did, I just drilled the bottom piece a little bit and then do the same as in the top. That way this small amount of metal will be against this piece and this piece will move, because if I go all the way to the next step, the piece is going to go through. We're good. All right, guys, the hole is around here, and basically this piece goes like this here. I think we're good. So this hose goes all the way up here, obviously with the bracket. And we need to run a line from here to the one that we installed, and the same to the other side of the car. Okay, basically what I'm gonna do now is hook this up piece of wire. I'm gonna try to make a template of what we need. So basically we're gonna need a line to go like this, up, back, and right into the fitting. Because I could move this forward and put just in a straight line, but I don't want to put too much tension on the Flexline. So let's see if we can make this a small line with no problem. So I'm against the fitting, the top of the fitting. So I'm gonna go over up here. Sorry that you guys can't see because the shock is in the way. Like this. Then around here to the front. And then around the middle like this. So basically this is the line that we need to fabricate. So let's see what we can do. Alright guys, here we got the piece that we're gonna use to do the first one, and here's the template. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flare the first side and then start bending, and at the end I'm gonna flare the end of it. Make sure when you're doing your lines to put your fittings in before the bending, the bending and the flaring. In this case, I'm gonna flare this first and then slide these over the other side because it's straight. It's up to you, it's just a decision, a personal decision that I'm gonna do it that way. So let's do it. So we're gonna clean the inside of a pipe or the tubing. Good. And the outside. So that way we have a perfect surface to do the flares. So we're using the 316 adapter. Notice that when I put this in the adapter, I just leave a little bit over from the edge. You guys will know why in a second. So just install the one in the top. Make sure that you have both on the same side. It's really hard to mess it up because there's some holes in a pin that it matches the other one, so if you put it backwards it won't go all the way. So like that, then lock it in place, tighten it, not too much, and then here in OP0, which is nothing, we will pull the lever till here. That's the edge of the adapter, and then we will tie that down completely. Okay, now we have that in the right position to do the flare. Let me add some WD-40. And then we're gonna do a double flare, which is a two-step process. We will look for OP1 316, which is this one. This one, 316 OP1, and then we're gonna press it to do the first step of the flaring. Let's do it. Oops. That's the problem with stainless steel. It's a little hard. So we need to tighten the press a little better. Whew, that was hard. So now we have a bubble flare inside, but to make it double flare, we need to go to OP2, which is this one, and then repeat the process. So let's see if we did it right. Yeah, I will say it's a perfect flare. We made it. Now we're gonna start the bending. We got the first flaring. We got the template. Let's slide this one in before we do anything else, because after we start bending, we won't be able to install it. So I'm gonna use a Sharpie just to have an idea where is the beginning of the turn. I will say around here. Then with the bender, you put this one in place. So now we got our mark at the beginning of the turn, and then we start bending. Okay, we got the first one. Not too bad. And then we're gonna calculate the other turn that is gonna be around here. So same procedure. We got the mark there, and then we start bending. So we got it. Now we have to do the other turn, which is going to be a little larger than the template. And then if we need to move the bracket, we will move it, because this is too small to go into the flaring tool. Probably we will have some issues doing the flare, because we need a little bit more of meat. Oops. So it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm gonna do a test fitting in the car and I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back from the car. I just marked roughly what we need to remove. So we need just this amount of tubing. But the problem is now we need to add the fitting before the flaring. And if we do that, we won't be able to flare because the cut is going to be here. So we need to make it larger in order to accomplish the task, the flare. And in this case, I think we will move the bracket that is on the rear end to make it fit properly. We could make it, I don't know if we go, no, it's the same thing if we go backwards, because the problem is the fitting. So I was thinking just to install it this way, but no, just dreaming in my mind. So we're gonna cut it like right about here, at the edge of the adapter, and we will go from there to see what happened. We're good. Look at the inside when it's cutted, and I'm gonna show you the differences when it's all clean. It's a perfect surface to do the flaring. So now we're going into the flaring tool, but before that, remember, slide your fitting in. All right, back on the flaring tool, we will place our tubing inside, install the other part of the adapter. Okay. OP0, notice that there's a little bit of tubing sticking out. We will lock it in place. Not too much. Then we're gonna push the excess. Okay, lock it. So it's not going anywhere. Some WD-40. OP1 for 3/16. Now let's go. Okay, we got the first flare. Now OP2 3/16, which is right there. And let's do it again. Okay, let's see what we got. Perfect. All right, guys. I was charging the phone because the battery was almost dead. I didn't notice that, so while I was charging the phone, I was just doing a little practice with some other material, softer and cheaper. So let me show you what we got here. So basically, we did a template with a wire, and then ended up doing those two lines. They're a little different. This one goes up to from the distribution block, the middle of the axle housing, and over the pumpkin shape, and then once again over the axle housing. This one, I think we're gonna do this one, because this one is coming out of a distribution block, go over the axle housing and turns behind the axle housing. So all this is running behind the differential housing, and this one was running in the middle of the housing. So I think I'm gonna do this one. As you guys can see, there's a little damage here, and I think there's another one there, because I was doing all the bending and it was too short. It was too, I mean, it was just practicing. I already cut the new piece of stainless steel to do the bending for the final product. So let's see what we got. And this one is the other one, the one on the driver's side. it's perfect. I just tested and it fits perfect. So now we're gonna deal with the big one. Let's see. So the piece is pretty much straight. This material is really hard to work with. It's strong. So let's see what we can do. Let's clean this with this tool. Let's clean the inside. And the outside. Very important. So let's do the first flaring. OP0. Let's put it in place. Okay, with OP0 we set the depth, or I mean how far the pipe or the tubing is sticking out, and then we secure it really good. A little bit of WD-40. Let's go with OP1 for 3/16. That's the side of the tubing, remember that. And proceed to do the flaring. Okay, now we're going to OP2 3/16 to finish the double flare. Okay, it's really hard, this material, compared with the other one. Perfect flare. Okay, let's start bending. So we are gonna reproduce this one with a little changes. For example, this is too tall. I'm gonna try to make it a little shorter, and we're gonna be doing some bending, going underneath the car, testing back and forth until we got the final product. We got one flaring down. We're gonna add the fitting, because otherwise we won't be able to make it after, and start bending. So always, I mean not always, because it's my first time doing this, but I just feel comfortable just putting this one next to each other and make like a little mark where I want the bend. And let's do the first one. This is kind of a tricky tool. Oops, no, wrong way. Hold up. Let's go this way. Now we're in place. I think it'll be difficult to do the turn shorter because we got the fitting here. So this is, we're in the limit. So we're gonna do it like that. All right. Let's compare with the other one. Just a little bit shorter. I don't know if you guys can see. Just a little bit shorter, but that will work for me. So let's go over the axle housing. It's going to be right about, I will say, let's say here. right. You're good. A little shorter. Okay, so imagine that you guys have the axle here. So we're gonna go over that and then bend it around here to go behind it. So the tricky part with this thing is you gotta be thinking always in 3 dimensions or dimensions. I don't know if I say that right. Because if maybe you will think that you will bend it this way, and when you shape it and then test it, you might end up, you know, bending in the other direction. So you got to be really, really careful with what you're doing. So here we make this one shorter, so I will say here. So in this case, like I said before, you got to be thinking in your imagination how's turning everything, because I mark it here, but if I bend it this way, we're fucked. We did it wrong, so we need to bend it like this. And that way when you put it like this, it's gonna be like that, and then going through the middle of the car. Okay. Out of the distribution block, over the axle housing, going down, and then all the way around the back of the housing. So I'm going underneath the car. You see, we're doing good. I'm going underneath the car to make sure that we have this distance correct. All right, I got the mark right here. We are going, like I said, distribution block, axle housing, going in all the way around in the back, and then we need to go over the differential housing. Just try to make this straight, and let's go. Just like that. And then we're gonna mark this approximately to the bending. Okay. I think I bent it too much. Just a little bit. I don't think that we hurt anything. Okay, we got the mark here. That's where we're gonna cut. Let's clean it. Very important step. Clean the inside of the pipe and the outside as well. Perfect surface. So let's do the flaring. OP0, remember that. Lock it, not too much. Set the depth. completely locked in place. A little bit of WD-40 because this material is really tough. OP1 316 right here. Let's do it. OP2 316. We're good. Second shot. Let's see. Perfectly. Fuck. We forgot to put the fitting, so we need to cut it again. Perfect clear. Let's go underneath the car. Alright guys, we're going to install the driver's side, which is the small one, this one, and then the passenger side. Okay, we got the first one. Let me see if I can tie the Flexline while we're here. It is tight. So the first one is good. Let's go with the second one. We're gonna start here, and then I'll switch the camera back, that way you guys will see the installation behind it. So we install it on that side. It's just, for now, it's not tied down. And here we need to move a little bit the bracket. Alright guys, this is the final product. So I think it's good for the first time. That line over there, it looks that I couldn't make it longer to make the flex line go in a loop or something, but I think it'll be fine. It's not tension. I can move it with my hand. So I didn't notice that when I was doing the hard line, but whatever. It is what it is. This one is looking better. Let's see it from the front. That's how it looks like from the front. All the connections. The rubber line that connects the front of the car with the back is already in it. Let me show you the bracket. So that's the bracket right here. Everything is in place. I know the wheel looks like crap. I'm the worst one, but I was using self-etching primer for welding. I don't know if I use it wrong or something, but every time that I use that, it caused like this, like kind of a splatter or like a faulty ground when you're welding. I mean, I'm not a professional, but I did some of those before better than this. But it is what it is. It's in place, so we're gonna keep it like that for now.